Hello, you lockdown sparklers.
Oh, lockdown for the second time.
Hope your bonfire night went off with a bang.
I'm not saying anything.
Isn't it funny that every year we celebrate somebody not blowing up Parliament? What do we want to do at the moment? But anyway, back in lockdown again, lockdown 2. Cliff Richard, just heard on the news, it's really exciting. His new album has gone into the top 5 already, and he's 80. Bloody hell.
You're allowed to say that.
Am I?
Yeah, you're allowed to. Bloody hell's all right.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Well, I just think that's so fantastic. But anyway, Cliff Richard. I have to go back to the 1950s when I was living in a prefab. For the first time I ever heard Cliff Richard. My parents used to put the radio on and we used to listen to the Light programme. And it was always Mantovani and Edmundo Ross and his orchestra. And if you were lucky, you might get Frank Sinatra or Matt Monro or something like that. And then I'm sitting on my swing outside the kitchen door and I hear this song, and it's Living Doll by Cliff Richard. And it's like, wow, I'd never heard anything like it. I must have been about 6 or 7 years old.
Not blow up doll, just...
You have to imagine the austerity of the 1950s. When we were born, rationing was just about finishing.
Sorry, but it's violin time.
Yeah, get the violin out.
Yeah, definitely.
There were bombed out buildings everywhere still. There were air raid shelters all boarded up. And we had no hot running water. In fact, my dad had to boil the water in a pig bin on the oven for a bath every week. And all of a sudden, out of all this austerity came teenagers, teddy boys, rock and roll, and Cliff. It was amazing. It was another world. So I went on to see the young ones at the cinema, and I loved him by now. And then when I was about 10, I saw Summer Holiday. I was crazy about Cliff. And I always used to go to bed and pray every night that I'd marry somebody that looked like Cliff Richard. And he does with his glasses on, doesn't he? Anyway, that is true. Honest. So anyway, when I was about 11, I saw the Beatles. And then that was it. I just loved the Beatles so much. And I became a mod. And everyone that liked rock and roll, they were rockers. And Cliff kind of went for me for a little while, because I went with the Beatles and I went with Tamla Motown and all the amazing music in the 1960s. But Cliff, he moved with the times. He didn't stick in the old era. He went on every decade. He's changed his style to suit the times, like he is now. He's 80, he's still doing it. But what I wanted to say was that I've never sung a Cliff Richard song before, because it's not girly stuff, is it? So I had to look in his back catalogue, if you excuse the expression.
Look, the pitchfork jokes were last week, so
Sorry.
Just don't tempt me.
And so I found this album that he recorded in 2006, and it was called Duets. That's right, no, it was called Duets.
Yeah, it was called Duets.
Duets. And he recorded every track with a different artist. Brian May, Gary Barlow, Cilla Black, Petula Clark, Anne Murray, and he did one with Dionne Warwick.
Or Dionne Warwick, as the Americans say.
Yeah,
I was born in Warwickshire.
That's true. Anyway, but I'm going to send him to Coventry now.
Coventry.
So from his album from 2006, Duets. This is a song, it was Cilla's first #1, written by Burt Bacharach and Hal David. Anyone who had a heart.
And this is just to prove it, in case you don't believe it, so I'm going to put it on.
Anyone who ever dreamed
Cliff.
could look at me
Cliff.
and know I dream of you.
In that level.
That's all right, that's all right. But that's just to prove he did actually sing it.
His voice is lovely, isn't it? It's just beautiful. Anyway, so I digress. Let's get on with it.
You're it is then.
You're it is then, anyone who had a heart. Anyone who ever loved would look at me dream would look at me and know I dream of you, knowing I love you so. Anyone who had a heart would take me in his arms and love me too. You could really have a heart then hurt me like you hurt me and be so untrue. What am I to do? Every time you go away, I always say, this time it's goodbye, dear. Loving you the way I do, I take you back. Without you I die, dear. Knowing I love you so. Anyone who had a heart would take me in his arms and love me too.